Hi, welcome to Bookwood. I'm glad you chose to spend some time with me. If we haven't met before, my name is Mashou and I create bookish and journal related content over here on YouTube. In this video, I'm going to set up my reading journal for the month of July. And before I say anything else, I wanted to excuse myself for being late with this video. I must admit that not only I waited for the prompts and the visuals of one of the readathons, I also had a very hard time putting this setup together. I think it has been the most difficult of the year or even of the last 2 years. But I think it turned out well. Let me know in the comments when you reach the end of this video if you liked this setup. I am participating in 2 readathons this month. I will go a little bit deeper into them later on when I'm setting up the dedicated spreads. One is related to music, and that's why in this setup I will incorporate a lot of musical elements. And this same readathon has as a theme Canada. And that made me think of a series of books that I read or that I finished last year. It's a trilogy of mysteries set on an island in Canada in the fishing scene. And in one of the books, Les Murmures de Acapic, we are going on a seal hunt, and that's what inspired the second element of this setup, which is like sea views with boats and then some seals and whales. I didn't buy any stationery to put together this theme, so let me give you the challenge to list me again down in the comments all the setups, bullet journal and reading journal combined, in which you have seen this stationery. I have just found a free printable for the music paper and for the other type of music paper. I have set up my cover spread as I always do, with that difference that I used, instead of highlighted lines, the blank music sheet. I skipped over the setting up of my stats collector spread. It's the same as always. It's always the one that looks the least nice because of the amount of writing space that I need. So I skipped right ahead to this TBR spread, and I use a style that has become very much mine, of decorating the corners with different styles of paper, leaving a writing space in the middle. This TBR spread is going to be a little bit different from other ones. It's the same principle that I used in the month of May, and I will add in this little tip in to write my priority reads on, so that I can use the spreads like on one side for one readathon and the other side for the other. In May I decided to pick 6 books per readathon. In July I will be only picking 5 for each readathon, because 6 turned out to be a little bit much. And if you followed along, I did read what I set out to read, except one book that I started and then that I finished in June. But that's only because of the ones that never came in from the library. Otherwise, I wouldn't have made it. So that's why I'll be going for 5 books per readathon. Maybe you saw it creating this tip in. I am trying to use all the little pieces of scrap paper coming off of the bigger paper sheets that I've used. I like to do that from time to time. I try not to waste, and sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't, but in this setup it worked out quite a lot. I skip over the bibliodrive setup. Again, it's the same as always, and I really wanted to have the time to slow down a little bit on the setup of the next spreads. This first spread with a Dutch door and some tip-ins is for the first readathon I'm taking part in, which is called The Battle of the Bands. It is organized by Jake over at Bookish Drummer, and the idea of this readathon is that every prompt is based on a song, and this edition it's all songs by Canadian bands in honor of Canada Day, the 1st of July, but also because his wife Stacy from the chapter Conundrum is from Canada. I will link to the announcement video in the top and in the description box. In the description box you will always find all the links to related videos, the videos of which I talk, but also chapters that can help you navigate through my video as well. Some people do not want to see all of it, and that's fine. I have decided to start by creating this tip-in and then later on a Dutch door that's going on the same idea. I have these stickers that represent like MP3 players or like the music playing screen of a phone that my husband gifted me, and I'm going to use them to add in the book cover and the prompt somehow for which I read it that represent the music aspect of this readathon. So it has been a little bit of a struggle. These stickers are not open in the middle. They are plastic, and if I want to write in them, well, I need to cut out a part, and that makes them sticking them down quite difficult. I will leave in most of the struggle so that you can see that even if it looks easy on videos, it is not always that easy when we set it up. You're not the only one struggling sometime. I wanted to create a layered effect so that it would feel like browsing through vinyls or CDs in the record store, but then I also wanted it to be quite easy to overview the books I've read. So I went with a tip-in over the top of the Dutch door to create that effect, and I will add in another tip-in in a few seconds that will allow me to have a book on top and underneath some room to make a top 4 of the different teams to indicate who won this challenge, because this is a competitive readathon. I have a few stickers with music instruments that I will tuck in the back, and I will finish this little bit up in my wrap-up video. The strip of music paper that I put behind the book places, or like that one, is there so that I can take note of my personal score. And here is another little tip-in. I made this on a sticker that I attached with some tape on a strip of paper so that I can use it to write the scoring system on the back. Turned out that I just had not had enough space to also write that down, and this was then a solution. I have also skipped over stamping out the title. I think that you understand how I did that. I am very bad with stamps. It seems that I always have like lots of excess, which I didn't have by using a marker instead of an ink pad, and I never get them straight. But I feel that in this setup, these not being straight gives like a wave feeling that goes with and the C theme and the sound waves of the music. I will be writing in the prompts afterwards off camera. It's just not interesting to watch. The next spread is for the second readathon I'm going to take part in, and that is GameNight by Cleo over at Bemused Bookworm. This is a readathon that I discovered last year when I intended to do a Battle of the Bands and it wasn't organized, and I was looking for something else to do. And I'm very happy I stumbled upon this readathon because I had a lot of fun and I absolutely wanted to also participate this year. It's again around the game of Labyrinth, and I made a whole setup with Labyrinth themed with the Greek mythology last year. I will link that for you at least in the description box. And this year I didn't want to redo that theme, so I decided to just go with the Seaside of the setup or the monthly setup theme. And this first spread holds two envelopes. In the first one I have the game board that Cleo provides and the different pieces that will be moving around, and the prompts that I got through my TBR game, because yes, I have already filmed that and you will have that on Saturday. And then in the other envelope are all the remaining prompts. I did use my TBR game to choose a few prompts instead of just using the Labyrinth game to determine them, because Cleo is adding in a element of chaos and she will make us change our game board throughout the month, and I didn't want to miss out on that. The way that will take form will be something that is included in my different carousel vlogs. I made one last spread, and that is this very simple place to keep track of the order in which that I finally get the prompts for GameNight, and then to add in the book that I've chosen for it. And I gave myself some space to write down why, and also the amount of moves that I make, because that will influence the amount of points the book will give me, and then of course the points in itself. And since I decided to read for 5 books, the 6th box will be a place to write down the winner. This is also a competitive team-based readathon, but it is very stressless, I would say. You can read as much or as little as you want, and the prompts are very open, so that makes it a very chill readathon for the summer, and I enjoy that aspect of it very much. I hope you enjoyed this setup, and I dare to hope that maybe you are tempted to participate in one of these 2 readathons. Let me know in the comments if you are doing any readathon at all in July and which one you picked. If you want to see how the whole reading month turns out for me, then you can follow this channel. You can maybe even turn on notifications so you know when my videos are out, especially carousel vlogs, which hold book reviews and like all the little game elements of the readathons. And I will leave you with a little flip through before you hop out of the door. I hope you will have a great reading month in July. See you soon!